Well, a tragedy leaving 4 dead and 8 others injured after a shooting and fire at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints during Sunday morning's church service. TV5's Christine Winter spoke with Governor Whitmer about that tragedy and how she and the state plan to help the community recover and move forward.
A community is grieving after a deadly mass shooting and fire during a church service in Grand Blanc Township. And in times like this, many are looking to state and community leaders for guidance. Calling in right now, we have Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and we really appreciate you being here with us. We have, unfortunately seen events like the one at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints happen across the country, but it's the first of its kind for this community. What do you want the people of Grand Blanc Township to know as they grieve and work to move forward?
Well, I think it's important that we acknowledge the pain. This is a very small, tight-knit community, and the loss is felt by so many. And so when I was able to get over there yesterday morning and spend some time with the FBI, local law enforcement, the Michigan State Police, DNR, it was remarkable how all of these agencies have coordinated, are working together and working swiftly to do their investigation and give the community comfort that they are safe. But will be a long road ahead for the families who lost loved ones, for the Church of Latter-day Saints. This is a devastating moment, and I want to make sure that we continue to support the efforts on the ground and also wrap our arms around this community.
Now, at Monday's press conference, you asked people to be careful of misinformation and spreading rumors. And as we wait for more answers, can you speak more on that and also share your advice for those who are looking for more information about maybe the investigation?
Well, I think it's important to recognize, we've got some of the very best in law enforcement and public safety working to get answers. And it's natural. We're all asking the question, why? What happened? How could this happen? And that's a genuine interest in learning and doing what we can to prevent this from happening in the future. But there's also a lot of speculation online that is not founded in fact, that could further inflame a situation or inspire others to do bad acts. And I think that it's dangerous to speculate. It's important for us to wrap our arms around the community, as I said, support the effort in terms of the investigation, and to operate with facts. It's dangerous to speculate and put information out there that's not been verified. And so I just ask that people don't do that. But what you can do to get some sense of control is, keep an eye on your loved ones. If someone is struggling or you think that they pose some sort of a threat to themselves or others, call the FBI, call 911, seek the help. So many of these stories, we find out that the individuals, the suspects, the perpetrators were exhibiting curious signs, and so there sometimes are efforts that we can do to keep our communities safe, and we want to encourage people to do that.
If you see something, say something, okay? Now, the community has really come together after the shooting. What resources are available to anyone who's looking for help?
Well, the state is going to continue to stay very involved and support what's happening on the ground. When I spent time with the township chief, I could tell you, he said that the community outpouring has been really remarkable. The way that the DNR officer and the local police department officer worked together within seconds of when the shooting began is really incredible. So there's a lot of ways that the communities come together, but I do think it's important that you reach out to your neighbor, you take care of your families, you hold your loved ones close, and ultimately the survivors and their families, as well as all the officers who are on scene, are going to need that continued support, and the state will continue to do our part.
Well, you talk about support. The shooting has affected all of us in mid-Michigan. What guidance or advice might you have for those of us outside of Grand Blanc Township who want to show our support and love?
I think it's reaching out. We know that there were a lot of communities that showed up to support, right? That all the fire department locally were exhausted after long really stressful, traumatic hours on scene, and that other departments showed up yesterday to give them backup. I mean, I think that there are a lot of ways that we can support, but the members of this church and this community are going to need continued support. And so whether it's working through your own church to give them that kind of support, there are a lot of ways that communities are coming together to wrap our arms around Grand Blanc.
Well, Governor, we really appreciate you calling in and taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you.